5 surprising things that waste a lot of your time and energy and how to take your control back. And so I now want to talk about the third thing that you cannot control that is taking up a lot of your mental and emotional energy. You cannot control the headlines, but you can control your headspace. Mel, what are you talking about? Well, let me tell you. There's a big difference between being informed about what's going on and getting inundated with things that are beyond your control that stress you out and freak you out. And I'll tell you something. I used to be really stupid when it came to social media because I was passive. And I'm going to explain what that means. Whatever it was that social media or the mass media platform was serving up, I was just taking it in. Oh, yeah, just serve it up to me. Whatever headlines were on the news, that was what was filling my headspace. Whatever was dropping into my social media feeds, that was what I was focused on. I'm here to tell you something. Enough with that. It's time to take control. You have to get proactive. Do not be passive about social media. You are handing your attention, which is one of your most precious commodities, away for free as if it's nothing. This is how you waste so much time and cause yourself so much stress. If you don't take control of this, your Instagram feed is going to start looking like the home shopping network. You know what I'm talking about. TikTok will become nothing but celebrity news and influencers. And if you find yourself mindlessly watching 34 hours of television, which based on a recent study is the average amount of time that Americans watch TV per week, and I think I just heard all of you listening in the other 193 countries where this show is syndicated go, Americans. Well, you also spend time mindlessly watching TV, and your attention is the single most important commodity that you have. And so I want to inspire you to get super proactive about where you direct it, regardless of how much time you're spending watching TV or wasting it on social media. I mean, those 34 hours could be directed at something that's important, something that matters, something that's going to make your life better, and something that you want to make happen instead of just mindlessly, passively giving it away. That's time you could use to get your master's. You could use that to launch a side business. You could use that to get serious about healing past trauma or learning how to be happy, or heck, just get to the gym, learn how to cook. Let me ask you something. What's something that you would love to make happen in your life? Are you being proactive about your time and your attention? I mean, just imagine what would happen if you got super proactive about using social media to help you get what you want. This goes so far beyond common sense. In fact, researchers have found that people who use social media passively to browse content from other people are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and stress. This is from a new study out of the UK that was published in the Journal of Behavior and Information Technology. And the same study found that if you're proactive about social media, meaning you create and share your own content, without engaging passively on content with others and doom scrolling all the time, it has a positive impact, especially on your stress levels. It is so easy to make social media or the news outlets the villain in your life. But that just gives social media and the news all the power. You keep the power because you're in control of how you use these things. And I want you to start using them for good. By getting proactive and figuring out how you can take control of this, it will support you in making important things happen in your own life because it can. So how do you do that? You know, I remember about 9 years ago when I was first kind of really getting into the media business, I started following Gary Vaynerchuk. And I'll tell you what, his content was so different than anyone else's because something came alive inside of me. And it became the content that I started engaging with. And it inspired me to start being more proactive about posting more content instead of just sitting there, wasting time, feeling jealous, and just like getting stressed out and procrastinating on social media. And so you can choose who you follow. Because remember, you can't control the headlines, but you can control your headspace. And you do that by getting very proactive about who has access to you and who doesn't. And I know you want to do that, because you made the choice to listen to this podcast, a podcast that can help you create a better life. So do that with your social media accounts. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad and start following people and accounts proactively that make you feel great about yourself, that inspire you to get proactive and start taking action in your own life. And by the way, whoever you think is spending way too much time on social media or follows a ton of influencers or celebrities or accounts that make them feel bad or you're worried about them, send them this episode. Because if they won't listen to you or they don't really think about it this way, maybe listening to this conversation will inspire them to take their attention and time seriously. It'll help them not only think differently, but act differently in this area of your life. And if you're listening to this right now, because your friend or your mom or your dad or somebody that loves you sent you this episode, I want to tell you something. You are capable of creating amazing things in your life. Take your time seriously. Guard your attention like a hawk and get proactive. Stop being so damn passive with social media. Get proactive. You're learning about the 5 things that you can't control that waste your time and energy. And this is a huge one that does. And when you start directing your time and energy to the things that you can control, like how you're using social media, who gets your attention, how you engage with it. Holy cow, your stress is going to lower. You're going to get more time back. Your life is going to change. And here is the 4th thing that you cannot control. You can't control the past, but you can control what you do in the present moment to help you move past it. No amount of regret is going to change the past. So all the time that you spend looking back and beating yourself up, it's just creating unnecessary emotional and mental distress. Yeah, you should look back and learn the lessons that you need to learn. But when it comes to the things that you truly regret, or in my case, cringe when you think about from your past, the best apology to other people and the most powerful form of forgiveness for yourself is a change in behavior now. When you change, you have proven that you've learned the lesson and you've moved on and you've become a better you. And here's how you can do that. Make a decision today to start living your life in a way that makes you feel proud of yourself, because it'll prove that you're no longer that person that you were in the past. Every single moment that you're looking backwards is wasted, and it keeps you from moving forward. The only way to move on from the things that you regret is to move forward. That's how I did it. I mean, there are entire decades that I regret about my life. If you listen to the episode about the lessons from my 20s, you heard about a lot of those regrets. But I'm really proud of who I've become and what I'm doing in my present life. That's why I don't waste any time and energy looking backward at the past. And you can do the same thing. You can use the present moment to free yourself from the regrets you have in the past. Sitting there and thinking about what you did wrong or what you wish you had or hadn't done doesn't do anything but make you feel bad. You can't control the past, but you can control what you do in the present moment to help you move past it. And here's how you're going to do that. First, would you give yourself more credit? Because you're not the same person that you were in the past. I mean, look at you. Heck, look at me, for crying out loud. I'm no longer that anxiety-ridden, toxic person that I was in college. Back then, I had no idea what trauma was, that I was affected by it, that I had experienced it. I had no idea that I had ADHD or anxiety. I'd never been to therapy. I didn't even know how much I was actually suffering. I just thought I was completely screwed up. I'm not that person anymore. And you're not the person you used to be either. So stop looking backwards. Look in the mirror. Look at the person you are today. And please give yourself more credit. And the second thing I want you to do is ask yourself this. Starting today, what changes do you need to make that would make you really proud of yourself? Maybe you need to get up earlier. Maybe today is the day you quit vaping. Or maybe it's bringing a more positive and optimistic mood to your family or to your roommates or to your colleagues at work. You can control what you do in the present moment and who you become. And that's what helps you move past the things that you regret. Changing today proves that you're no longer the person that you used to be. And so starting today, I want you to make the most of your life moving forward. That's how you make big things happen. That's how you create a better future. And the final thing is that you can't control, but it costs you a lot of time and energy. The future. You can't control the future, but you will create it by what you do in the present. The future hasn't happened yet, so you might as well stop worrying about what's going to happen right now. Stop worrying and stressing and being anxious about your future. It is a complete waste of your time. You need to be worried about what you're doing today. Besides, I can tell you what's going to happen in the future. I can tell you who you're going to be in 6 months from today, based on your habits, your friend group, and the social media that you consume right now. That's how important the present is. See, what you're doing today has a bigger impact on the next 6 months than any amount of worry or anxiety could ever have. So if you're sitting there worried about your parents dying, like so many of you are, have you called them today? If you're sitting there worried about what you're going to look like on your summer vacation, have you exercised today? You're worried about retiring? Have you even done a budget? Instead of watching other people's YouTube channels, today could be the day you start yours and you make it happen. Instead of wishing the weight would magically fall off by your vacation, today could be the day you make a plan and make it happen. Instead of hoping that you'll get a promotion in the future, today could be the day that you schedule a meeting with your supervisor about what you need to do in order to make that happen in the next 6 months. See, the next 6 months are coming whether you do something different or not. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need to worry about your future because your day-to-day life already predicts what it's going to look like. So unless you start doing something different today, we already know what's going to happen. So stop worrying, stop feeling anxious, and let's get proactive. Let's define what you want, and then let's make it happen. Let's get started today. And you know what? I'd like to help you do that. I mentioned this at the top, but now let me tell you a little bit more about this brand new free training for you. Because getting started and taking action and being proactive, that's what I'm going to teach you to do. That's why I designed this training called Make It Happen, because it is easy to talk about what you want to do. It's hard to actually do it. And nothing in your life is going to change until you start taking action and you make it change. And I have already said this, but it bears repeating. I am so moved by your support of this podcast that I am constantly trying to go beyond just having you listen or watching an experience with me. I really do mean it. I don't want you to waste any more time and energy on these 5 stupid things. I want to do whatever I can to empower you, to direct your attention and your time and your energy toward things that matter. I want you to take risks and make the changes that make your life better. And I don't care where you're listening to me right now or what you're facing. The fact is, you can make amazing things happen. Right now, you're part of a global community of listeners, of people that are doing amazing things. Your fellow listeners are winning Emmys for their work on shows like Bridgerton. They're launching YouTube channels. They're finishing their manuscripts. They're getting their first book published. They're creating life after divorce. They're losing 100 pounds. They're moving across the world and taking that trip and making big risks. And you've heard me say this, if you can define it, you can make it happen if you're willing to work for it. And now you know 5 things that are beyond your control that are a waste of your time and energy. You want to know what is never a waste of your time and energy? Your own self-improvement, your own goals, your own dreams. And that's why this new 2-part training is going to guide you in defining what you want and making it happen. I don't want you to waste your life being passive. Let's get proactive. Don't waste 34 hours a week watching TV. You can invest 2 hours with me and get started today. And you now know how important today is when it comes to what the next 6 months of your life look like. Nearly 1 million of you downloaded the guide that I created to help you make 2024 one of the best years of your life. And if you loved that free training, Mel outdid herself for you this time. This one's going to blow you away. Just go to melrobbins.com/makeithappen. It is 2 hours of brand new premium video content. The curriculum is backed by science, and there is a free workbook that is included that's 25 pages long to help you go deeper and make this stick. And it's all there for you. Why wouldn't you take this opportunity to let me, your friend Mel Robbins, help you, support you, coach you, teach you in making something awesome happen? Because what you do today has a bigger impact on the next 6 months of your life than any amount of worry or anxiety or beating yourself up ever will. So let's stop that tomfoolery right now and let's get into action. Just go to melrobbins.com/make-it-happen. And by the way, will you be generous with that link? Can you share this with absolutely everyone that you know? Because when you surround yourself with other people that are making big things happen, it helps you make big things happen too. And I want that for you. And by the way, I can't wait to see you in the training. And I can't wait to see what you create in your life with this additional support from me and my team. Why does this stupid stuff get to us? There's that one friend that's always late. You know that your roommate is not going to take the trash out. They haven't done it for a year, so why do you get upset when they don't do it? You know that your significant other is going to start snoring as soon as they fall asleep. So why am I trying to control this? And more importantly, why am I getting upset about it? You're wasting time and energy.